Morning, welcome everyone to the SWEC meeting for November 2025. Minutes of the last meeting have been available for any motion to accept the motion.
I'll second.
Any modifications, comments, questions, changes? All in favor, say aye.
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 So we'll start off with your presentation.
I meant to put this on the agenda, but I'm just gonna go over the Q3 strategic plan, just so you can see what we accomplished for Q3. I'm gonna give the PowerPoint like I gave the last time I did the presentation, and then of course, the further details are available on the Clear Plans website. So I'll go over the highlights today.
Tammy, I'd
Yes.
just like to note that what you're doing is an example of the story that was in all of Otsego about the clear plans and this kind of thing.
Yes. So this is capturing our entire department, so I'm gonna skip to the slides that regard SWEC. So the first is we have a priority outcome in planning for the items under planning that report to SWEC for to foster the responsible use of Otsego County's land and resources. And so under that priority outcome, this third quarter, we kicked off the hazard mitigation plan update and started our outreach and data collection. Held our monthly greenhouse gas inventory meetings as well as weekly office hours for the communities that are participating. Kevin from our office presented our MRI at the Tompkins County Sustainability Conference, as well as presented it to the Hartwick Climate Smart Communities Task Force. So he's out there kind of sharing that work, getting feedback, and showing people how to use it. We received some new septic applications and processed some reimbursements. So we're seeing a lot of activity under that program. We also submitted our phase 2 report for the snowmobile grant program, and now we are working through finalizing things to get ready for the next round of that. We also created a new ag district parcel layer in GIS, and that's really going to feed into something I'll talk about later in the agenda today, but getting that ag district parcel layer updated has been something that's been a long time coming. So now when people want to actually see what parcels are in the ag district, they're going to get an accurate picture of that. And then moving on to our solid waste priority outcomes for Q3. Under our first outcome, which is to ensure the availability of local waste disposal options for Otsego County, we kicked off our contract with Delta Engineers, updated the site survey, and borings were taken at the site. We're still waiting on the results of those borings. I'm going to anticipate we're going to have to put some fills in. That's just our hunch that we have. We coordinated with a bunch of staff on bond estimates for the work at Southern Transfer Station. And then, of course, you've all seen all of that information, and we provided that to you for the budget considerations. We also held our HHW event, which you all have received the outcome of that and the picture. That's just some of our staff working on sorting batteries at HHW. Our next outcome is to increase Otsego County's waste diversion rate. So during Q3, Kyle coordinated with Hillside Commons, which is an off-campus student housing facility in Oneonta, as well as SUNY Oneonta and Hartwick College, to distribute recycling materials to incoming students. That's a big thing we hear, is that kids come from all over the place and the rules might be different where they come from. So how do we make sure they're recycling properly while they're here? So those were all distributed in the form of magnets. Those went into dorm rooms and as well as the kind of common spaces where the recycling bins are. Kyle also created a recycling advertising campaign with the Penny Saver. They've been really great in working with us on putting things not only in print, but also running social media ads and online ads. And so that's been a nice kind of development from some of our other advertising programs in the past. Kyle coordinated a book recycling pickup with SUNY Oneonta. They had so many books that they were looking to recycle that it didn't make sense for them to bring it down to the transfer station and overload it, so he coordinated with our vendor to be able to have them work directly. And then, as you know, we began accepting plastic film at the county transfer stations, and that has been very utilized, so that's going really well.
So what are the qualifications for plastic film? As opposed to other plastic? I mean, I know obviously the light bags, but what else?
As a general rule, if you can kind of push your finger through it, it's considered plastic film for that program. So, anything that's kind of soft enough to be able to be pushed through. So like a bread bag.
Ice bags,
Banana bag.
Dry cleaning bags, of course.
yeah,
Yep.
grocery bags, like, produce bags.
So like something that wouldn't be as like a candy wrapper, wouldn't count.
I noticed, I used to take them to Hannaford, excuse me, and in the fall through the winter, people were bringing in their bags of the pellets.
Yes.
They were burning in whole bags, so I said, I wasn't sure, but.
Yep.
Yep.
Those are also part of
All
it.
the bags are.
What about someone asked me last night at Otsego, horse feed bags, they're a woven.
Not the
Okay.
woven ones.
Okay.
about them.
Yeah. I know that one's been a tough one to find something, an outlet for it, and there was a local group kind of converting them into new totes. Like you can only do so many of those.
They have a 6 in the recycling triangle. There's a 6 in there, and I've looked it up too, and
Okay.
it's been hard to find anything about what to do with them.
And then our last priority outcome under solid waste regards our role in the MOSA landfill maintenance. And so under priority outcome 3, we paid our monthly post-closure costs. We reviewed the budgetary considerations for the leachate project, and we did, put in a lot of work to coordinate with other MOSA counties on the leachate discussions, and we have our meeting with them tomorrow. So, we will hear what everybody has to say about the kickoff and affirm our, position on it right now, and that's where things kind of stand, and I'll have to work within that, I guess.
Are the both transfer stations taking the plastic film?
Yes.
And what do you do with the batteries that you collect? I said you were sorting them there.
So we used a vendor out of Marlboro, New York. They came and picked them up. We had to sort lithium from alkaline from carbon zinc, but we had collection bins and sorted them all out, and then they picked them up and
They give you anything for them or not? Just
No.
they charge you to take?
charge.
I think we get some for the lithiums, but the money we get from the lithium only kind of offsets some of the cost of the alkaline. There's ultimately a cost, but this company we worked with this year was very good to work with. We've had some trouble in the past, and the prices were also very good, so compared to the past. So that's hopefully we can kind of continue to keep that positive relationship. Okay. Next on our agenda will be the recycling report, so I will get that shared for you, Kyle.
All right. So for the month of October, for MSW and C&D, we collected 4,042.06 tons. We generated a revenue of $413,636.43. Our rebate from Casella was $4,893.99. And versus 2024, we had a significant increase, this year. We were up, 1,131.22 tons. I'm not sure what the, big increase was this year. Just, I don't know if the weather being what it was in October, we saw more, renovations or something. But compared to past, it was, significantly
Big,
higher.
big chunk was, All-Star Village. They replaced all their turf. So they brought all that in.
Yeah.
That
I know,
was,
and I think there was a big roof job in Oleana.
yep, there was a few of them,
Yeah.
but about half of that tonnage came from the turf we took in.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a lot.
For recycling for the month, we collected 323.62 tons. Our cost to Casella was $31,669.45. At Appalachian, we recorded 310.45 tons. And versus 2024, we were down 14.55 tons.
And the rate continues to climb.
Yeah.
So
Said tariff. I told you.
maybe that's what it is.
I check on that.
For the month of October, for electronics, we collected 4.12 tons at the Southern Transfer Station. We did have a pickup at Northern, but I've not received the invoice with the tonnage for that one yet. And then we just had pickups again, for the month of November, so we're trying to get that cleared up for the, for Christmas time. For cardboard, at the Southern Transfer Station, we collected 4.39 tons. And this gave us a savings of $60.46 a ton. For glass, we had a collection at the Northern Transfer Station of 2.08 tons. And this gave us a savings of $20.98 a ton. For food waste, we collected $5 in compost revenue for the month. For mattresses, we collected 295 units.
Hey,
We sent 3.75 tons to Triad, and our subsidy cost was $1,475.
there's 6 more yet.
Blessings continuing.
For books, we didn't have a pickup this month, but we are scheduled to have a pickup today. The bins are full, so they're supposed to be coming today to pick up. For scrap metal, we sent 6.56 tons from the Southern Transfer Station to Otsego Auto Crushers. And then we sent 9.94 tons from the Northern Transfer Station. And we received our shared rebate of $1,287.18. For textiles, we collected $101.60 of the month of October. And then for tires, we sent 7.37 tons to BDS.
Questions for Kyle?
Do we keep track of C&D?
It gets put into the annual report at the end of the year, but I don't have it off top, what it is monthly.
Could you like monthly?
If I think we'll just get that in the report.
That's not a problem. Just separate it as a scale house or whether it's CID or MSW.
Well, rumor is on the street, they're gonna start putting up Milford pretty soon.
That would be helpful.
That,
That would be good to clean up Milford.
well, I guess it was pretty well, so they're almost finished.
insurance is the issue.
Yeah, and I can put that, right, yeah, initial first slide.
Mhm.
Show that separation.
Sure. Okay,
But before, Tammy, before we go on to other items about solid waste, we should mention that the planning department has put together this document, which we will eventually be putting in the adopted budget. Think of it as your tax dollars at work. And it is a document which explains the program, kind of some of its accomplishments and some of its challenges. Challenge primarily being the rebuilding the Southern Transfer Station and all that. The reason I bring this up is because this is part of something nationally called citizen-centric reporting or budgeting. And this, when we complete it, will be highlighted at the February National Convention of the Association of Government Accountants. And these guys have done some great work explaining to regular folks the complexities of this program. And luckily for you, you're going to MOSA because on Friday, there'll be kind of a murder board of people from around the country criticizing your work and seeing how they can improve it.
you have the link to it, right? So that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tammy, before you get out, as long as we're on to, it's not wasting on. Last night I was at the Otsego Town Board meeting and I always talk about something. And I listed the things that we can take to the transfer station for free. People were surprised. They had no idea we could take glass and plastic film and all these other things.
Yeah.
We ought to come up with some way we can get this word out more.
Yeah. I wonder if, like, I know sometimes in the past, like they've done things where it goes in like somebody's tax bill. There's like a flyer or something like that, or like, how do we get it out to everybody
Yeah.
in a way that, because unless they're consuming the particular media that we're putting everything out in, they're not gonna see it.
No, I was surprised the number of people question, oh, why didn't know we could do that? Yeah.
Yeah, I would say every day we're kind of we're answering calls about things that, really surprise us that more people don't know about yet. So definitely, I mean, I think we're open to any feedback for how we can continue to reach people
Yeah,
at a kind of a mass way that will get right to their,
right
if they don't
in
go
front of their
looking for it,
eyes.
they're not gonna see it kind of a way, yeah.
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 Well, the one word in there that kind of turns a lot of them off, stuff has to be clean,
Yeah,
and
sure.
it's easier to throw it in the garbage than it is to clean it.
Yeah, this time of year, like, I'm like wood pellet bags, maybe, people that sell wood pellets, if we could get the information to them, say,
That's a good idea.
tell, wherever people buy wood pellets, there aren't that many places, and make sure that they know to tell people that when they sell them the pallets, that, you can take these.
But aren't those bags usually marked as recyclable?
Yeah, but people don't even look at that.
They don't think of it.
Well, and then we run into the issue when manufacturers put the recyclable symbol, if it's not clarified how it's supposed to be recycled, then people assume it can go in their single stream, and then, so we've had, where somebody's gonna put, like, say, polystyrene in a single stream, we're like, oh, actually, you gotta put that, and they point to it and they said, it says recyclable, and I'm like, I know what it says,
We're inside.
Yeah.
but unfortunately, doesn't go there.
Right, so that the wood pellet bags will go in plastic film.
But they can't break with a single stream.
Right.
Exactly.
So
And
that's the
people
tricky
try
part
to
too.
recycle them and they tell people, told them, you can't put them in here.
Before
So
they
they
had plastic film.
Right.
Yeah.
Now
They
they
just
can.
assumed it's garbage.
So
I
the,
assume all the shrink wrap stuff that goes around the outside can go in that film too.
Yes,
so even though we've been recycling for like 35, 30, whatever many years almost. and people have seen that little triangle with the recycling symbol. The number in it, like how to use that as a tool for sorting out trash is still something that could be, education could still happen in that area. And then even then, we run into problems like we just were talking about with Rick with the horse feed bags that are like, they have a number in there, but you don't,
Yeah,
you have to, you can use it, but then you have to still find out that you're at a dead end when you come to like how to get it out of the regular garbage. So, I don't know.
Well, it's like earlier when I was telling Kyle that I went to the transfer station the other day and how many 5-cent deposit bottles and cans were in those recyclable things. It's unbelievable that people are throwing that much away as far as, they could have, there's places where you can donate it to something, but it's just the time and effort. to Separate them and put them where they belong, but there was a lot of them, really.
We even have like the little unit right there. Is there one of those
No, not,
collections?
well,
At the-
where I was.
yes.
Used to be a Boy Scout one there.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, it's my-
Drop off.
yeah,
I think they do have them there as well, right?
They have that building where they put cans for the library, but it's just to be bothered
Yeah.
to
to
take them from one side of the parking lot to the other. People just rather dump them in.
Convenience is a really big piece of it. And that's why we try to put as much as we can at the transfer station, because it's like if people are gonna drive one place to dispose of their stuff, they're more likely to hopefully participate in it than having to go here and then have to go here and then go there. The really avid people will do that, but yeah, no, I think convenience is a big
Conveniences.
piece of it.
I was in somebody's office the other day and I had to throw something away and there was a garbage can and it was full of paper and I said to them, is this recycling or is this garbage? And they said, I can't be bothered. And they're a big green person,
Yeah.
but like not, can't be bothered with recycling their paper.
We see it all.
They would tell you they were super green, all for the green initiative.
Yeah, I think that's great feedback, and anytime that we can, like that's one of the things we heard the feedback about was with the students. We're like, okay, then how do we try it? So anytime there's feedback like that, we'll try to get after it and make some improvements, because yeah, we get calls every day for things that we feel like we've been really out there. So yeah, so. Okay, next on the report is soil and water.
Oh, soil and water. So we met on Monday. And we have our budget. We just need to rearrange the number once we know our county allocation. So once the county number, which I told them was gonna be a flat carryover from last year, but they had done this with the cut in mind. So we'll just do a budget mod if we get it, when that is regularized and voted on. So we have our budget. So we have been working at the district to upgrade some of our infrastructure down there. So we had put together we had done a building reserve. We'd started one a couple of years ago, so we spent some money out of that. But we repaved the parking lot this year, and we also redid the gutters around the building. So there's been just an effort to spruce up our space and keep everything, from getting the maintenance from getting too deferred. So we did spend some money and had the roof gutters replaced this past month. We're still working on getting our USDA lease agreement finalized. Hopefully that will start moving ahead now that government is open again. But the NRCS and Farm Services agencies are federal agencies that pay the district rent to live in our building with us. So hopefully that lease renewal, it's a 5-year lease with a 5-year extension. So They'll be working on getting that finalized once they're back at work. We have our legislative days coming up in February that we start talking about now. And, we do have that 200,000 for heavy equipment. It seems like it's moving forward after all these years. It was an Assemblyman McGee project that's when we applied for that. So it's been a while, but it's still in the system and hopefully we'll be able to move along and purchase at some level, an excavator. For whatever,
Is there any of that money can be used for to take care of the agricultural bags? Plastics?
oh, so when I first started, on that board, there was ag plastic. Cornell had done a program through a grant. But when the grant money ran out, about maybe years into it, from when I started, they were unable to carry it forward. And Tammy, I don't even know if
Do we still have the machine?
part of that, if the can
Soil
itself.
and Water would have it.
The
if it
machine?
Still existed.
Yeah, I'll have to, we can ask about it. It's certainly it's something that kind of it got lost in the
I
shuffle.
would think it would be better used for that than buying an excavator, but that's my opinion.
Mm,
The trouble we've experienced is a lack of a market.
Yeah.
Because we had some that it seemed like every time we collected it, it took longer and longer for us to find a buyer. And then we ended up having to start to pay. And now we can't, I mean, admittedly, it's been a little bit of time since we've rehashed it, but nobody was even interested in the material.
Well, it's either getting buried or burned or blowing around, one or the other.
I
know.
followed up with Delaware County about it, and they were still collecting it, but just storing it at this point because they couldn't find any place to get rid of it.
Cause we did team up with Delaware.
Yes.
Yeah,
This is the ag plastic.
the ag plastic, yeah.
That was about a year ago, was the last time I followed up with them about it, but
We could check in again, for
Yeah.
sure.
And I'll find
Well,
out.
the numbers are not going down, they're getting,
I know, it's bad.
they're at the meeting, so I can ask them when
Okay,
I go back.
great.
Oh, great.
What is after it's the machine or whatever is done, whatever it
The
does?
big baler, it bales up the plastic into like big square plastic bale.
And it's just a big slug of plastic that nobody wants.
yeah, but there was stipulations before it had to be
It
clean.
does have to be.
And it's kind of hard to clean.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
kind of,
Muddy old plastic.
yeah.
Clean and dry, so they have to like clean it off, hang it up to dry. It's a whole process.
It is a whole process.
But
How to make that more user friendly.
I know. Like OCCA would go to the farmers and do the education on how to properly, clean it up and stuff. And then Soil and Water would do the baling, and then we would be the ones at the end trying to figure out what to do. And one of our challenges is storage, and so ours would sit outside, and the longer it sat outside, the less of a chance you'd find somebody who would want to buy it, and it became a rat home. Yeah.
Is this like a nationwide problem? Just nobody wants plastic?
An international problem, I
Problem.
think, yes. This particular plastic, I think it's because there's risk associated with how clean it may or may not be.
Pesticides, basically.
Not pesticides, I don't think, mostly mud and dirt.
And
Because they store the corn in it and it's out there on these big long, like tons and it's really just.
they drive a tractor and they run over to get another piece out.
Right.
And that may be some, I'm not, I don't think this was our county, but other places, like, they hide the dirtiest ones kind of in the middle of the bale.
These
And
nice clean
it's
ones out
nice and clean
there.
on the outside, they open it up, it's nasty, and
Shocked.
Maybe Cornell might have something on it.
Might be able to make corn or retaining walls on
I know, we gotta be able to do something with them,
it.
right?
Yeah. Anyway,
I think it's always worth revisiting, you know,
I do too.
periodically just to see if anything's changed.
And as far as the rest of the soil and water report, we have a couple of salt shed, grants that we had submitted for the towns that we're working on. And,
When do you hear about them?
the new ones we should hear. Wrote it down here, like within, by December or January. These are ones that we were awarded last year. And that is pretty much, and we're working to finish up the one in Mount Vision, the big storage project is getting close to being done. And when it is finished, I'll let everybody know. And we are working with other counties, and which is good for our performance measures. So we've done a couple things with Fulton County, we've done a couple things with Cuyahoga County and the Upper Susquehanna Coalition. So these are all things that are, they help strengthen our standing with New York State. And that's pretty much what we talked about on Monday. And Jim's not here to remind me of anything that I left out, but I think that's pretty.
Any questions? Okay.
Kyle, will you give the update on Southern Transfer Station?
Sure, yeah, so, we are currently, working with Delta, as you got everyone knows, we are in good, I guess, progress, they plan to put the bid out at the end of the year, on schedule still. We had the borings done. And we're waiting for the final evaluation of what they are. We did receive some plans that we shared with Casella. They gave us some feedback that we provided to the engineers. And we're just working on a final plan for the final design.
We'll, of course, share that with the committee once we have something more for you to look at. But like we said, based off of what it was looking like when they were doing the borings down there, we're anticipating that in order to build the new building, there will have to be, I'm gonna guess, we're gonna have to bring in Phil. I'm not an expert, but
I was down there when they were doing the initial borings, and they had hit 40 feet into the ground, and they were still just hitting clay. So
They're gonna get down through there. It's river bottom.
yep, so. Just,
But I see that the baseball park there, Oleana's has huge piles of crushed stone where they're digging more parking lot into that bank. Maybe you can talk to them.
Yeah.
It's a close place for them to put it.
Well, that's not a bad idea. I think next year they're supposed to do I-88 up there,
might be some opportunities.
And then, the state just dumps the fill on the other side of I-88. Even concrete, anything.
Yeah.
I wonder, if we could put out
Put something out and say, we'll take all the clean hard fill you find there.
There is a lot. So speaking from Casella's terms, we get a lot of dumpsters with hard fill, and we're always searching for places to bring it. 9 times out of 10, we're driving it 30, 40 miles out of our way just to get rid of it.
So we could get it free.
Yeah, you would get quite a bit.
Great, let's start.
I mean, if we want us to,
I don't know,
I mean, if
we should
you're,
talk to Delta and get an
I was gonna
idea
say,
of how much,
if
but,
it's something that you want, we can get the hard fill there.
okay.
It's clean again, sometimes your fill
Exactly.
gets a lot of crap in it.
Yeah, I think that will be really critical, because otherwise the cost could skyrocket, so. Okay, next is Kyle give an update. We have a new Waste Smart business.
Yep, so we had an application come through for Hillside Commons. They applied for a Waste Smart Business certification and we awarded them gold for the practices that they're doing right now in terms of recycling. We have them featured on our website, and I am currently working through with a penny saver, as we had mentioned, for an ad to not only promote that they are now a part of it, but also of the other 4 businesses that are a part, we will feature and try to get more businesses to participate in that program.
And then you want to do the hauler licensing?
Yep, so we sent out our letters for the hauler licensing renewal for 2026 and 2027. That process, once again, just to go over it, is they fill out an application for free, send it in to us, and then when all the information we needed is provided to us, we provide them with a sticker for their vehicle. So every vehicle they have on fleet, we'll provide a sticker for. So we're currently receiving applications as we speak, and that will start at the beginning of the new year.
That's a 2-year process, so they'll be certified for 2 years and good to go. So. The next is just to give you a heads up, we received our letter from Ag and Markets that our ag district is up for its 8-year review process. I'm pleased to share the process has simplified quite a bit since the last time, which means that the cost of doing it will also be a lot better as well. But we're going to try our best to align it with the 30-day open enrollment that we do in January. We have until August to submit the report, but if we can do the collection of ads and removals, this is the only opportunity for property owners in the ag district to remove parcels from the ag district. They only get to do that 8 years. They can add every year. So we're going to try to line that up with the 30-day open enrollment period so that we're collecting information all at the same time. And then we can convene the Ag and Farmland Protection Board just the one time, because it can be a challenging crew to get together as they're gearing up for the season. So if we can just get them together one time, align that, then we've got a long time to be able to put our report together. So you may hear questions from constituents, but you have to mail out to every single property owner that has property in the ag district. And that the size of that mailer has significantly decreased, which is one of the cost savings we'll have from previous years. But we will be putting together an information sheet that we can provide to the board so that if you do get phone calls, what is this? Why am I receiving this? It'll have basic information that, of course, anybody can also contact our department to understand. Sometimes people put a parcel in the ag district and then forget, and then they're like, what is this? Is this my assessment? No, it's not your assessment, it's something else. So yeah, that is going to be underway in 2026. We're going to try to get the mailers out this year though, so it can be done through that this year's budget. All right, Kyle, I don't know if you want to give an update of one of the sessions. Kyle is currently attending the NYSER conference at the Otsego, and he's over here just for SWEC, and then he's going to head back over. But he attended an interesting session that
Yeah,
might
kind of
be.
on the topic of tomorrow, we have the meeting for MOSA and the likely discussion of the leachate abuse that we have seen. But ironically, they started the session today with PFAS and how it is affecting drinking water. But they sort of loosely discussed that there is potentially technology being developed for PFAS remediations. And it's currently in the state of federal review and how it's affecting. So it would be nice to potentially bring that up tomorrow. Just to see if there is, any discussions.
What do you think about
Yeah.
that?
And And then, yeah, just additional research being invested. It sounds like on a college level, around the whole state on how PFAS is affecting drinking water standards. So.
How does PFAS originate? I assume it originates in landfills
Right.
and other places.
Yeah.
What, can you talk any more about that?
With the idea that it's going to the wastewater treatment center and then being processed there.
What about the landfill produces these
Oh, just the,
chemicals? Just everything?
it was in everything that was buried.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, we've talked about the leachate and other alternatives. As I was driving out to Stanford the other day, I noticed a yard full of tractor trailers that used to haul milk. They're sitting there idle because the number of farmers that have gone out of business.
Wow.
And it may be that some of these haulers that were doing this would love to take and fill that tanker with the leachate and get rid of it. It may be a cost-effective thing.
So I read about one of the Nobel Prize winner from this year. Some of the work that they did on the molecular chemistry was about these ways to take the PFOAs out of water. Like the water can go through these molecules. It's pretty amazing, and I can't even start to describe it to you, but the Nobel Prize winners were working on this kind of technology that could take these microscopically tiny little things, like submolecular levels, and filter them out, and then they stay out, and then the water would go through. And it's a great application that people are working on it. And it's a great question to be asking our friends in other counties.
Yeah. And one item that Adam brought to our attention this morning is regarding mattresses.
So the landfills are now charging $55 per mattress if it ends up at the landfill. So we don't have a huge problem here in Otsego County, but we do have some haulers who get mattresses mixed into their roll-off containers or in the back of their garbage truck. They're too filthy to recycle. Again. So we get that. We get, maybe a dozen a month. It's not a lot, but we've been charging the normal mattress fee for it. But with it going up to 55, I'd like approval to charge the haulers that bring them in the 55 to cover the cost that the landfill's charging.
They don't always, the hauler doesn't always know, correct? Because somebody's put it in the bottom of the dumpster.
Correct.
Yeah, because most time you rent a dumpster and somebody else fills it, that's
Right.
okay.
So what we do when we get it at the transfer station is we let the hauler know. Like even now, what we do is they get an invoice from us that says, this was your tonnage plus 2 mattresses, so that they can go back to whoever they take that load from and charge them back for the cost of that mattress.
So as long as they have a way of getting it back to the person that put it in there,
Is this,
you don't usually have trouble with ordinary deliveries, just the dumpsters.
It's mostly just the roll-off containers that come in, and every now and then you get it in a packer from front load dumpsters at businesses, not residential, because
Right.
they're not gonna throw it in there. They don't want to put that in there.
Right.
is this for now or are you saying, or for 2020?
They're starting January 1st.
We just went through our fees, but I guess that's.
Yeah, if we wanted to change.
We've been
that.
charging just the same fee as everything.
Correct.
And you have, so currently you're already doing this, you're just charging, what is our fee that we just approved?
Well, be the
45.
45 would be
But
for
What
26.
they're charging is probably the tonnage weight. Did you charge extra for mattresses before?
Yeah, because a lot of them we pull out if we can. If they're clean enough to be recycled, we pull them out, move them to the recycling building. It's the ones that are just so filthy that you can't, and they've just been charged to $35 for it.
On top of the regular tonnage fee.
Correct.
Which would,
But the
Go
landfill
45.
upping it to,
next year.
Yeah,
and the landfill is upping that to 55 per mattress.
for ones that came in recycled.
Correct.
So makes sense and encourages people to.
Right.
Would we have to add a line in the fee schedule that is like mattresses?
Yep,
Maybe
we would have it spelled, we would have it spelled out.
Mattresses,
Uh,
unrecyclable.
We were gonna have it spelled out in there, unrecyclable mattresses, brought in by haulers is a $55 fee. Instead of the normal.
So would you charge that same to if the individual brought in an unrecyclable mattress?
Most of the time it becomes unrecyclable just because it's been in that dumpster. It's been sitting in a roll off for a month. Where it's in the back of a trash truck.
They're sitting on the side of the road.
Yeah.
You know.
it's like saturated.
Normally when the residents bring them in, we have not seen an issue where we couldn't recycle them.
$55 fee or a $10 surcharge.
Well, what if we attached it to that fee that, he was talking about? If we said to match whatever the landfill fee is, then this year it's 55, next year it might be 60.
Right, they could change it mid-year too.
Well, you could amend what the fees next month and say for any contaminated mattresses, it's $55, no matter where it is.
I think you should do it that way.
Yeah.
Leave it as open as possible to.
And then also make it easier for Excel to say, hey, you know what, they got the law here that says this, yeah. So it would benefit everyone.
Another issue that's been coming up, Tammy, so you know, is a lot of solar panels are showing up. We've been rejecting them.
What do people do with them?
They're supposed to send it back to the manufacturer.
Yeah, they're
Who's
highly
supposed to
toxic.
recycle it. The problem is all those businesses that started selling solar
Okay.
panels, they're not in business anymore.
Yeah.
This is
they're-
gonna be a huge problem nationwide.
Yeah, it's
Because
gonna be
they're
a
so
bigger and bigger.
toxic.
We've had a couple roll-off loads come in with them from other haulers that we've had to reject and not take.
That's stressful because it's only gonna be a matter of years before it really is all these
It's
big
gonna be a huge.
things that have been
It's
installed
gonna
are
be
gonna meet their,
Your end of life.
yeah.
That's pretty quick.
So presumably people don't actually send them to their manufacturers or at least the people who sold them. Or at least not.
They've gone out of business by now.
Yeah, so
So we can send ours to
manufacturers in
manufacturers.
China. Yeah.
so what
We can
happens?
send ours to-
So when I've gotten calls about it, I advise them to either get in contact with the company that they bought it from. And then there was an additional company that I've looked up before, I think, in New York that will take them, but they have to set it up themselves. We don't.
Facilitate that.
Yeah.
So if people don't comply, they throw them what? In the woods, the side of the road, in the back lot of their land? I mean.
I would think DEC would get in there someplace as far as regulating it.
Sounds like a great space for a solid waste company to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Become
Just
a-
about.
Otsego County and create some jobs.
Actually, data from DEC that's gonna be in Carol's office tomorrow. Meeting with her and calling. He just contacted us
Oh.
on your Tuesday. At the old Saga for a couple of days, today and tomorrow. So he wanted to meet, and I know Carol has an appointment. So that may be a question you wanna run through.
Yeah.
Not gonna be.
You know what time it is? Or I can check with Carol.
It's in my.
Okay.
Well, you're not gonna.
This depends on what time. If it's in the afternoon, we might be back.
Okay.
So if we wanted to change that to the 55, I think we'd have to amend resolution 370 to add that line.
Motion to do that.
Yes, I'll make that motion.
Second.
I'll second.
Favor, any further discussion? I guess roll call vote.
Bliss,
Yes.
McCarty,
Aye.
Kennedy,
Yes.
Brockway,
Yes.
Powers. Absent.
Motion passes.
I'll bring that to admin.
Okay. Anything else?
Unless.
Nothing to close.
We
Adjourn.
We adjourned.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Recording stopped.